Welcome to this edition of Niners Radio Live postgame show here at our satellite digital media studios here in San Francisco. Brian Professor B. Davis, Niners Radio Live. We're here in our SDM studios in San Francisco. If you want to come in and talk a little 49 football, if we have a chance, we have a few minutes. If we have, we're going to recap today's game. The Niners losing knock for the ranks of the unbeaten. They lose to the Cleveland Browns in an interconference action up in Cleveland on Sunday. Game ended probably a little more than almost hour and a half, almost 2 hours ago. Niners losing by a score of 19-17 as Jake Moody, the rookie, missed a 41-yard field goal uh, as with 4 seconds left to play in the contest. Niners dropped from the ranks of the unbeaten. Their 15-game win streak in regular season play comes to an end. It's their first loss. The 15 games, we'll get into all that in a moment. To a pretty good Cleveland Browns team, led by P.J. Walker, who, and of course, they were out Deshaun Watson this on Sunday because he was injured. And you got to give the Browns credit with their defense. And big news is the Niners end up Debo Samuel with his shoulder injury, and then with Christian McCaffrey was oblique. Left the game. They both did not return. Samuel ended up getting a X-ray on his shoulder. We don't know what is the significance of that injury. He did get an X-ray. It's been negative. He'll have a full MRI on Monday, and we'll get more word on that when it comes. So, welcome everybody on this edition. This on Niners Radio Live post game. If you want to feel free to come in and talk a little 49ers football, the number is right now 415-549-3743. That's 415-549-3743. If you want to come in and talk some 49ers football here on Niners Radio 49, we'll get to you in a few moments. Guys checking in on the Niners Radio 49 as we'll give you the recap of the game here on 49ers post game live, Niners Radio 49. And if you want to come on the here on Niners Radio, we're gonna be on for a few, recap this game and some of the things that happened this afternoon. The Niners defense played very well, but the Niners were so limited on offensively. We're gonna just get to the calls in a few minutes if we get some callers out there, and yeah, but we're gonna get to it. We're gonna get to it. Our number is again 415. Our hotline number is for this is going to be check us out at our phone number is 415-549-3743. That's 415-549-3743. And you can check us out on YouTube. The link is we put it online at YouTube, www.youtube.com/at Niners Radio 49. Just to make sure, just get everybody checked in. So the Niners end up losing their first game of the year, first ever regular season loss for Brock Purdy. as they fall by a score of they end up losing by a score of 19-17. Niners go to 5-1, and we'll get more information on Debo Samuel's shoulder injury as it we'll get word on that on Monday, how significant that injury is being, how much time he's going to end up missing. So on the air right now here on Niners Radio 49, Brian Professor B. Davis. In case you missed it earlier in the day, the Niners fall their first game of the loss of the year of 2023 by a score of 19-17. And we'll get to all your calls if you want to come on and talk 49er football in the air. Our phone number is 415-549-3743, 415-549-3743. Check us out on our website as well at youtube.com/at Niners Radio 49. That's www.youtube.com/at Niners Radio 49. So we're going to just a recap of this game on Sunday here on Niners Radio 49. We have our YouTube chat page. You want to come on? We're going to start. Hopefully, we can continue to build this thing up on Niners Radio 49. We'll send it to uh, all to the people who are watching us on Niners Radio 49. Want to call in? Check us out on our Niners Radio page. As the Niners kind of a bit of a letdown after their domination over the Dallas Cowboys, their longtime nemesis on Sunday Night Football on NBC back last Sunday night. We're down at the Mecca. Everybody was whooping up. But sometimes in life that you have to, sometimes you have to just, got to get back into that dose of reality. The old saying is, "You're only good as your last game," and the Niners kind of did a bit of a hiccup today, and the Niners, hopefully the injury with the Debo Samuel is not that serious. According to multiple reports, that is his X-rays has been ruled as negative, and hopefully he'll be ready to go next week. See how extensive when they do the MRI reports coming up on Monday. So you're free to come in and check us out on Niners Radio 49. And our phone number is, again, 415-549-3743. 415-549-3743 is the hotline number on Niners Radio 49. Professor B here at the Satellite Digital Media Studios here in San Francisco. 49ers losing. And one of our callers or our followers, Rick Diaz, says four back caused two missed field goals. McCaffrey, he'll be okay. He'll have to get some rest, take one week at a time. You're right, Rick. Rick, if you want to come on and check us out, the line's open, 415-549-3743, 415-537-43 is the hotline number. Niners Radio 49 here. Niners falling to the Browns. And that's what I always tell everybody, you got to take it one game at a time, though, one game at a time. You knew the streak was going to end. This is the 15-game winning streak in the regular season is the second longest in they tie it for the second longest in franchise history. Only the longer winning streak was 16 in a row, set by the 1989 and Niners from uh, yeah, so you look at it, right, for the 49ers, it's a long season. It's a long season. We talk about taking one game at a time. The Niners tie that second longest streak in franchise history, the 88 through the 89 Niners team. Of course, they had that streak. And me as a Niner fan since during my youth of the mid-late 80s through the 90s, remember that streak where they really were unbeatable all year long. They had a 15-game win streak back from the 88-89 season. And that was the year, of course, they went on to have their back-to-back Super Bowl seasons. So, you have to look at it. You got to look at it and say, hey, look, there's still a lot of games left to play. This team's going to bounce back. It was just one. I expected this was the Cleveland Browns. So far, if I look at it, so far, they're the first four. I'm looking at some of the stats right here of the who has the top ranked defenses. The rankings. I'm going to pull this up right now. Niner fans, if you want to check in and talk about today's contest, our number is 415-549-3743, 415-549-3743. Check us out at www.youtube.com/@NinersRadio49. That's www.youtube.com/@NinersRadio49. Just check us out on our. We're going to try to get some people to come in and check us out. We get some people on if they want to talk 49er football today, and we're just trying to build this thing, try to get some numbers, and try to build this thing and have this thing sustainable, and take as we take them one game at a time. So we'll just get some more Niner fans coming in if you want to talk 49er football. So we're gonna try to do a quick recap of the game, and we're gonna do a quick recap of the game as we are going to try to hit my app just to recap the game. We break down what happened, but so we look back at the game. Niners and the Browns in Cleveland at Cleveland Stadium. We start off in the first quarter when Brock Purdy connected with Christian McCaffrey on a 13-yard touchdown that put San Francisco up 7-0. And then in the second quarter, Jake Moody hit a 25-yard field goal that made it 10-0 in favor of San Francisco. And then we got someone coming in, checking us out live. So that was 10-0, and then it was, and then okay, I just have a little technical difficulties. Here we go. We're just having a little technical problem. So then in the second quarter, Jake Moody. And it was Kareem Hunt on a 3rd-and-1 play, had rushed for a 16-yard touchdown that cut the lead, San Francisco's lead, to 10-7. And then Dustin Hopkins kicked a 42-yard field goal to tie the game at 10-10 in the third quarter. Niners led 10-7 at halftime, and then through the third quarter on a 4th-and-3, Dustin Hopkins hit another field goal that put Cleveland up 13-10. Then here we go in the fourth quarter. Uh, in the fourth quarter, it was yeah. Then the fourth quarter. So then it was in the fourth quarter. Jordan Mason rushed in for a touchdown, filling in for McCaffrey. Then the Niners lead was 17-13. Then on fourth, then Dustin Hopkins hit a 50-yard field goal with 3:26 left to play in that game. 13 made it 17-16 Browns, and then Hopkins hit another field goal, 29-yard field goal with a buck 43 left to play in the contest, 17-19, and then it was Jake Moody missing the field goal. He was 1 out of 3 in field goal attempts uh, in field goals, so that was the difference of the game. The Niners were big favorites. Was take a look at our stats of the team stats: 15 first downs for the Niners. The Brownies had 18 first downs. Niners were just a dismal 3 out of 12 on third downs conversions. Cleveland was 3 of 13. The Niners did not attempt a fourth down. Cleveland was 1 for 1 on fourth down. The Browns outgained San Francisco 334 yards of offense to the Niners 215. Passing yards, Niners 174 to the Browns 107. Rushing yards, or correction, the Browns 174 to the Niners 107. The Browns were 160 rushing yards to the Niners 108. Total plays, the Browns made 15 more plays plus 15 to the Niners 55. Completion attempts, the Browns with 18 out of 34, Niners 12 of 27. Total rush, the Browns 34, Niners 25. The Browns had 2 turnovers. The Niners had 1. And then Brock Purdy was sacked 3 times. The PJ Walker 2. And then the penalties were the difference on both sides. The Niners were penalized 12 times for 105 yards of penalties. Cleveland was only 13 times for 119 yards. Time of possession, the Browns 33 minutes and 3 seconds to the Niners 26 minutes and 57 seconds. And then let's just take a look at the final numbers. Not a good day for Brock Purdy. 12 of 27, a buck 25 through a touchdown, through an interception. And then it was Jordan Mason, 5 carries for 27 yards, a touchdown. Brandon Ayuk, 4 receptions, 76 yards. PJ Walker was 18 of 34, 192 yards, 2 interceptions. Kareem Hunt, 12 carries for 47 yards. The former Raiders, Amari Cooper, 4 catches for 108 yards. Let's take a look at some of the individual statistics. Christian McCaffrey, before he left that game, he had 11 carries for 43 yards. He averaged 3.9 yards. And then receiving others, Juan Jennings targeted 4 times, 2 catches for 26 yards. And then uh, Jake Moody was 1 out of 3. He hit 1 field goal in 3 attempts. And he was 2 for 2 for his extra points. And then Mitch Wisnowski averaged his punting 52.3 yards. And then looking at the stats for the Browns, it was Amari Cooper averaging 27 yards a catch. And then Kareem Hunt had 3 catches for 24 yards, averaging 8 yards a catch. And then it was Dustin Hopkins was 4 out of 5. He hit 4 field goals in the contest, and that was the difference of the game. And then we're just taking a look of what some of the news with McCaffrey. Taking up some of the news. It was just from Yahoo Sports, as McCaffrey was ruled out in the loss, and then he scored a touchdown early in the game. He was initially was ruled as questionable to return with the oblique injury, but at the Browns' 46-yard field goal in the fourth quarter, he returned on the one play after the field goal, and then he was sprinting to the locker room later in that drive. And and then looking at the other injuries, taking a look. So the thing is, they're going to be looking at all the injuries. What's going to end up happening with Debo? Will he miss significant time? We'll find about the we'll find more about his injury stage with his shoulder when they get an MRI on coming up. So 49ers their record will now drop to 5-1, but all is not lost. The Seahawks end up falling to the Cincinnati Bengals on Sunday. So that's important. They lose to the Cincinnati Bengals in Cincinnati, and uh, they end up losing to the Bengals. So now you look at the NFC West standings, and then for the Rams playing the Arizona Cardinals, that game is still continuing as is still in progress. So we're not able to give you the score or a final of any kind available at press time. The 49ers will remain sure at no worse. They will maintain a two-game lead over the. They'll have a two-game lead over the. They'll have their lead will be 2 games up on the Seahawks in the NFC West. They begin the day 3 up on the Rams. They're going to end up, if the Rams win, they'll be 3-3, meaning they'll be 2.5 up on the Rams in the NFC West. And then the Eagles and Jets are playing right now. That game is unavailable unavailable for any score final at press time. That game is still in progress as we're doing this taping. They're playing the New York Jets at the Meadowlands. And also a reminder, the Philadelphia Eagles have never lost to the New York Jets in the series they've met head-to-head. I'm going to look that up. And you look at that whole, so the odds are very, very, very. Yeah, the Eagles have never lost to the Jets, and they're 12-0 all time in their 12 games they've faced head to head. So that's going to do it now. We're going to wrap it up now. I'm Brian Professor Pete Davis. Niners lose to the Cleveland Browns in interconference matchup, and they'll fall to 5-1. The Bengals, or I say the Cleveland Browns, will improve their record with their victory. They will now go to 3-2. Looking in the AFC North, they will go to 3-2. They will be a half game behind the Baltimore Ravens, and so the Cleveland Browns would, trying to, get some of their players back as well in a good spot in the AFC North. Next up, what's on deck for the 49ers? Next up for the 49ers, they'll be back 1 week from tomorrow night as we're doing this taping. They'll be playing the Minnesota Vikings, and they'll travel up north to U.S. Bank Stadium in downtown Minneapolis to the Twin Cities to take on the Minnesota Vikings for Monday Night Football. And we'll be on location next week. We'll be on location for Niners Radio Live. That will be 1 week from Monday night. Niners will take on the Vikings. That will be a 5:15 p.m. kickoff time. That will be on ABC. and on the Niners flagship KBR 680 104.5 FM 680 AM. Greg Papa, Tim Ryan with the call, and the game will be on ABC. And Monday Night Countdown will be hosted by Michelle Beisner Buck, the wife of Joe Buck. She'll be handling those duties, filling in for Scott Van Pelt. And then Joe Buck, Troy Aikman will call the game on ABC's Monday Night Football in the U.S. Bank Stadium. 5:15 p.m. is the kickoff. You can catch the action on KMBR 680 104.5 FM with Greg Papa, Tim Ryan, and will be on ABC 7 in the Bay Area. Then 2 weeks from today, the Niners will be back in action to take on the Cincinnati Bengals for an interconference matchup. That will be a 1:25 p.m. kickoff time. That game will be on CBS. However, that could possibly change depending on the Bears-Chargers game with depending their record. So that could be flexed out. It could stay as it is. And that will be, you get tickets for the next Niner home game at Ticketmaster.com. That's Ticketmaster.com. Ticketmaster.com is your ticket provider for the San Francisco 49ers, which, by the way, that weekend will be 49ers Alumni Weekend. That's it for now from the Satellite Digital Media Studios here in San Francisco. Once again, the final score: Niners fall to the Cleveland Browns at Cleveland Stadium on the lakefront in northern Cleveland, Ohio. Niners fall to the Browns 19-17. That's it for now. Brian Professor B. Davis, and so long. 49ers postgame recap as an association on Niners Radio 49 with the Satellite Digital Media News. 49ers football. Faithful then, faithful now.